Domestic violence.
What happens behind closed doors? Types of abuse. Physical abuse.
Emotional abuse. Sexual abuse. What causes domestic violence? Power and control.
Using male privilege. Using children. Denying, minimizing, blaming. Using isolation. Using emotional abuse. Using intimidation. Using coercion and threats. Using economic abuse. In Australia, 1 in 5 women experience physical abuse, 1 in 6 sexual abuse, and 1 woman dies every week. Let's look at this case. This was the happiest day of their lives, the day Mr. and Mrs. Smith got married. They didn't plan for challenging times, but it did happen, bringing out the worst in Mr. Smith. Abusive anger, ordering and demanding, name-calling and judging and criticizing, just to name a few. Things turned to the worst. Mr. Smith became physically aggressive and violent towards Mrs. Smith. Mr. Smith abused her, physically, sexually, financially and emotionally. Mrs. Smith started to blame herself. Maybe if she changed, he'll change. Mrs. Smith felt uncertainty and serious. She didn't know how to cope. She felt fear and was very worried. Mrs. Smith decided it was time to get help and called the Domestic Violence Helpline. Mrs. Smith realized that there was no future in domestic violence and decided to end her marriage. Domestic violence cannot be stopped unless people speak up and stand together against domestic violence. There are many domestic violence help centers which offer support and protection for any victims of this violent and aggressive crime. Domestic violence represents a serious abuse of power. It undermines the basic rights of people who are most vulnerable to abuse. Domestic violence often remains hidden, which can have a long-lasting effect on victims. There are many campaigns like the Stand Up campaign which promote action against domestic violence. To end man's violence against women, we must stand up, speak out,